Three, four.
Bethany? Bethany, why are you staring at me? Is it because I did something wrong? It's because of how I'm standing, isn't it? I knew it! The whole bottom half of my body is so sore because I don't get a chair yet, and I thought I could try standing differently so it hurt less, and I was practicing in the mirror, and I knew it looked weird, but I told myself, Jonas, you listen to me. You do not look weird enough for anyone to comment on it. I was wrong. I was so wrong. I'm sorry. If I sit on the floor, will it make it better or worse?
I have to ask you a question that goes against all of my personal and professional sensibilities, and I'm trying to think of literally any way that I could get out of it.
If it's about how I'm standing, I can just throw myself into space if it makes you feel better.
It's not about how you're standing, and you're not allowed to throw yourself into space without my written permission.
Can I keep standing like this?
Well, now that you mention it, the way you're standing does bother me a little bit.
I'm going to space.
It's not that bad. It's just that you pointed it out to me.
Do you think anyone else noticed?
I haven't seen anyone come into our office in several months.
But am I giving off an aura?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Really? You can pick up on that?
For sure.
What color is it?
It's
You're looking around the room.
It's kind of a gray, in a dirty green sort of way.
That's the color of the ceiling.
It is also the color of your aura.
Are you using my insecurities to avoid asking me a question that you need answered to get your job done?
Please don't say it like that. You make me sound like you when I don't know whose permission I need to throw myself into space.
Have I been the one doing the training all along?
No.
I need to know what this question is. I need to.
Jonas, it's the kind of question... Well, it's the kind of question you would ask me, and that makes me uncomfortable.
I ask those kinds of questions all the time.
I know, and I don't want to encourage it.
Listen, I'm all for avoiding work. I'm better at it than you. So you don't have to ask it if you don't want to.
Every word of that makes me feel like I need to shed my skin again. Especially because, somehow, this is a work-related question.
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, now you want to work.
I was worried for a second that I'd never actually get to hear this question, and now I know for a fact that no matter how uncomfortable it makes you, you're going to be compelled to ask me eventually. All I have to do is wait.
Jonas. Jonas, don't do this to me. No, you cannot do this to me. I can do this to you, but you cannot do this to me. It will not work. I will not let it work. You know the silent treatment is considered an act of terrorism when it's done by a subordinate to their boss.
Are you going to throw me in the brig and then go back to the AI?
Fine. Jonas, please answer this question as quickly and painlessly as possible. Have you ever been in love?
Yes.
I
think the first time I ever fell in love was the first time I ever opened my eyes and saw the world around me, opened my ears and heard the music of everyday life, and opened my heart to all who would pay it a visit. The truth is, and I think about this often, I fall in love a little bit every day, and that's the moment I always look forward to the most.
I need to shed again. I don't think I've ever shed this much in a single cycle. I'm gonna run out of skin.
Love gets me out of bed in the morning.
If I could shed in front of you without every bone in my body rattling with embarrassment, I would. Just so I don't have to have this skin on me anymore.
I'm serious. Also, side note, look at me. Aside from the way I have to stand because of excruciating pain, I'm a total catch. People fall in love with me literally all the time. It's the least I could do to return the favor every once in a while. Your turn. Have you ever been in love?
Is that question work-related?
It's related to you, which is related to work.
I'm not answering.
Has the Bethany who throws everything they have into a job that they hate never been in love?
Here's your first fun Bethany fact, Jonas. That's why I'm not answering the question.
Wait, really? You've never been in love even a little bit?
I have been in hate, and hate is the opposite of love, so do with that what you will.
I have literally so many people I've been in love with. You can borrow one if you want.
Jonas, I've collected data from more than a few star systems full of fools. Love is a numbers game. I just don't know enough people to fall in love. Why are you smiling so much right now?
Because I know for a fact you've seen my attendance request form for the speed dating and chemical mixer where there will be a statistically significant amount of people.
You can go, if you get your work done.
And is anyone else I know going?
The ship only puts these on because the company gets a tax write-off for every marriage one of their matrimony interns officiates. That's it. Love is not in the air, that's the chemicals. They have to put chemical mixer in the name for a reason.
Bethany, this is my formal invitation to chaperone you to the speed dating and chemical mixer.
You are not getting me to come to that mixer. Last time the ship hosted one, I was blackmailed into being the witness to 4 marriages, and therefore forced into being the witness of 4 anti-marriages as soon as the chemicals wore off. I'm not going. Plus, the new matrimony intern is just the exact type of person who would become a matrimony intern.
But you're guaranteed to fall in love.
It's temporary.
All love is temporary.
That's a curveball coming from you.
Listen, once enough people fall in love with you and then out of love with you when their love for you has completed its task, you start to pick up on the pattern of how true love actually works. They see you, you're pretty and full of life. A few years or usually weeks goes by, now you're strangers, and one of you has to stand funny to mitigate the pain. That's love. It's expensive, literally and metaphorically.
That's love.
And I am the love expert.
That sounds awful.
But the rush at the beginning when it starts? You wouldn't believe it. The rush at the end when more than a few of your things are missing along with some memories? I wouldn't miss it for the world. You really should try the chemicals.
I would rather take your word for it. Plus, I don't have enough things to go missing, even if I have a few memories I could part with.
Whatever you choose, just know I have been working on forging your signature so the form is filled in no matter what.
I know. You keep asking me for feedback, and it keeps getting better despite my efforts and your skills. Go, have fun, just don't get married. I don't know how, but I know I'll get roped into bearing witness to another marriage and anti-marriage.
I do have a plan for that, but it's not going to happen at the mixer. I need to hang on to that one till a moldy day.
I can only hope that I am finally being sedated that day.
Great. Sorry, I just remembered you don't talk about these things unless you have to. Why are we talking about this again?
Well, expert, I need you to look at these transcriptions. The data says they're either love letters or open threats, and I can't complete the form until we, and I mean you, love expert, figure out which it is.
Is this the planet with 2 massive country-spanning castles, each with an army poised for a war that would never come?
Yes, the one where both families managed to trick the other one into thinking their vast stores of mannequins were a standing army.
If memory serves, there were only about a dozen people on that planet.
And?
It just doesn't bode well for your numbers game theory if 2 of them fell in love. Your silence means I'm right, and I'll take a look at the transcriptions. Are there any love letters in the extraneous but interesting folder?
Yeah, someone was collecting them.
And that someone is...
Not me.
Can I still use them for reference?
Honestly, I don't see why not.
Is this what permission feels like? They lied. This was so much easier than forgiveness.
Please note, all managers in charge of teams of 3 or more have been informed that they are no longer allowed to accept any form of apology. There has been some confusion, so to clarify, if you are in charge of a team of 3 or more people, you are not allowed to accept any apology from any person, whether that person is on your team or not. This new rule applies to working and non-working hours. If someone in your family attempts to apologize to you, you still need to fill out the apology refusal form in triplicate and deliver it to the correct people who you will be required to apologize to. Productivity is happiness.
To my Dreamwalker, I am fond of you. I can't think of anything to say beyond that. I can't think of anything to say beyond that because every trace thought that dances its way across my dreams is you. It has forced me to come to this simple conclusion. I am fond of you. As the days have all been blotted out and the stars in the night sky grow darker, I am not thinking about the coming cold. I am not thinking of the hunger which will follow the cold. I am thinking about what comes after those dark things. That is when I will see you again. I am forced to remember that simply, I am fond of you. Perhaps I will finally send this letter to you. If you are reading this, know that there have been many quiet nights with the wind pulling at my jacket seams where I thought of you and wrote letters, burning the many unsent tomes to keep warm. If you are reading this, it is the champion in a long lineage of such heroes, all chanting in unison the simple phrase, I am fond of you. Until this winter comes to an end, your dreamer.
I don't understand.
Don't ask me, you're the expert.
I mean, I don't understand why this is in the folder.
The dreamer sent it to the Dreamwalker. The Dreamwalker received it and crossed the great winter waste to return the fondness. They died together, cold but happy, well before we ever got to the planet.
And this was a legend on the planet?
No, just one of the nicer stories from their ice age.
I guess that's a little interesting.
Is something wrong?
It's good and all, but it's not that good. It's not... I'm just surprised it's in the folder, that's all.
Someone was collecting them once.
Right. Someone.
Did you figure out the new letter or not?
Well, look at I'm fond of you. It's so warm. Now look at this new one. It's not warm. The temperature is totally different.
So it's a threat.
Maybe.
Maybe?
Maybe.
Jonas, the computer already told me maybe. You have to do better than maybe.
No, I will. After I read more of these letters.
Just don't get addicted to them or we'll both regret this. You've been getting addicted to so many things lately. It's becoming a really bad habit.
Bethany, I will stop finding new addictions as soon as they stop bringing me massive amounts of pleasure.
Honestly, I don't know why I didn't just dump all these love letters into one of the whole cycles ago. Maybe after we're done with this one form.
And just destroy all this knowledge?
Oh, now you like the letters?
I like some of them.
You've read one.
Yeah, and statistically, I'm going to find one I like.
So, what you're saying is that love is a numbers game.
No.
Because it sounds like you're saying love is a numbers game.
I'm not saying that.
You're just saying that because there are so many of these love letters. Eventually, you will find one that you like.
It's different.
Or maybe even one that you love.
To whom it may concern, we have not met yet, and yet we have chased after the small signs of each other for weeks that have become months. I saw the snapped twigs first, or perhaps you saw an errant track I left in the fresh mud. Then you saw the bright lining of my coat as I turned at a sudden sound you had made. I have seen the wood shaving you leave behind your whittling, resting next to a just-cooled fire. You have pulled the animals I hunt from the traps I've laid, and let them wander free. I see the marks your arrows leave in these trees. You see how I rest my weary body in the hot springs. I do not know if we speak the same language. I learned mine a long time ago on another planet. Maybe you did too. I came here to be alone, to hunt and build and survive off the land. I'm good at it. I'm fulfilled by it. I never expected the thrill of being slowly hunted by another. I've left this letter instead of my usual signs I leave for you. Let us meet at the hot springs you've watched me bathe in so many times. I will spend the hour or so before sunset there each evening. Your prey, G.
Now look at the hunter's letter, and look at the one you gave me today. The hunter's letter is surrender. They admit they were wrong about some deep-seated belief about themselves. They thought they wanted to be alone, and now they don't, and they're okay with that. The hunter gives themselves up to a complete stranger.
It also assumes a lot about the other hunter.
Oh, definitely. But our hunter, G, still gives himself up all the same. And in our new letter, the writer doesn't do that at all.
So it's a threat.
The writer of this new letter is utterly confident in themselves and the view they take of their world.
So a threat.
But there's another thing.
Jonas, this hunter letter is the 8th love letter you've read out loud to me today, and you still haven't found one you actually liked.
Did the two hunters end up together?
Yes, up until they were incorporated.
Did they speak the same language?
No, the other hunter couldn't read the letter, but just happened to really want a bath one day. They made it work, though.
And they were the only two on the planet?
Yeah? What does this have to do with our new letter?
Just saying, 2 people doesn't seem like a numbers game.
Jonas, is the new letter a threat or not?
It doesn't quite click one way or the other for me yet. There's something missing.
You better not just be using this to read more love letters.
I don't want to read these. These letters all suck, but I have to read them. I am filled with purpose, and if I stop now, I will deflate like a balloon.
Attention all crew members who eat. Due to a change in the budget as we come to the close of one fiscal fifth and enter another, none of the nutrition available in our many cafeteria halls will have any scent. As you know, scent in our state-of-the-art kitchen is the last thing added to the dish right before it reaches your plate. The nutrition will still be as nutritious, if not more so. Productivity is happiness.
Hey, Dingus. I know that only one of us will get to piss on the other's grave, and I hope to piss on yours. The only reason I might not get to is because I will be in jail. I will be in jail because I am planning on murdering you. If I am in jail and unable to piss on your grave, I will spend all of my time locked up, devising something worse than piss to dump on your final resting place. I will ship it to whatever birthed you and have them pour one out for you if, as I suspect, I'm serving multiple life sentences for your murder. I can only think about you, your spouse. P.S. I can only think about you in very negative ways.
Okay, yeah, I think I like this love letter.
It's ironic.
Is it?
These spouses left each other a letter like this every morning. They started pretty innocuous, but you know how these things go. They got more and more extreme over time. It's kind of cute, I guess.
Then why is this one in here?
Because it was left on the kitchen table while the writer went for a walk. Their spouse read it and laughed, said, "I love them," out loud, and then got murdered by someone else.
Oh, cool. Who?
Just somebody. Nobody important, not even a serial killer. It's just a one-time thing. No real motivation for murdering this person. The writer did end up serving multiple life sentences because the letter constituted a confession. I actually slipped that one in there because it was the least lucky love letter I had ever seen. It felt like it was worth preserving. Now, please, can you tell me if our new letter is a threat or not so I can go home and shed?
Almost.
Jonas, you have read 25 other letters. Please just make a decision.
To the one who flows through the other castle undisturbed by the shifting stones, I have seen you in glances through glass lookers, and have felt the strange gaze of someone who glances at me. I suspect your family has named you Spy Master, and you have been returning the favor of my craft. Would I be remiss to think that neither of us is as qualified at the subversive arts as we led our families to believe? My family, for their part, believes I have some skill in waiting and watching with bated breath. Though I doubt I have any real skill in it, I have enjoyed watching the calm way you glide through your decrepit castle. My skills lie in poisons mostly, medicine too, but my family will deny any evidence of sickness lest you catch the scent of any weakness. I, of course, deny that any member of my family has ever experienced any illness, but I admit I'm qualified to treat most of the maladies I haven't come across. Likewise, the small animals my family brings to me have all died when I expected them to, except for the ones who I wanted to be carriers of my concoctions rather than victims. I know from all the watching that I've done, and all the watching you've done of me, that we share a similar passion for the few exotic flavors that this world can bring to us. I am confident that this message will reach you, as I trust it will make it past what both of our families have decided to call guards. Perhaps my family will not notice the rare bird missing from our aviary which carries this letter to you. The species does not live on your side of this miserable rock, but trust there are fewer than a dozen left in captivity, and this is the star specimen. You are a competent enough cook to know how to clean and prepare the bird. Do not share it with your family. Enjoy it where I can see you. Perhaps I will hear from you. A fellow spy master.
It's a threat. I don't know why I brought it to you.
Was the bird poisoned?
Yes, but the other spy master took an antidote before enjoying it.
Did they write to each other again?
Many times. Almost all like this, sending new animals for each other to consume and then die in increasingly grotesque, impossible ways. The antidotes just became stronger to deal with it. I should have just labeled it a threat.
What about the portrait?
What about it?
The transcription includes a portrait.
It does.
Who is it of?
It's a self-portrait.
Did the other spy master send one back?
Eventually.
Can it be both threat and love letter?
Not on the paperwork.
Did they do this until they died?
Yes.
Did the poison kill them?
No.
Love letter.
Why?
If it was a threat, I think they would have sealed the deal. And it's a better story. And it means you're wrong about the numbers game.
Oh, come on.
It's true! You're a romantic at heart, Bethany, and you know it! You hide behind this numbers game, but look at all these love letters you were collecting. Come to the mixer, try the chemicals, you'll have a good time.
I didn't collect these.
Sure, somebody did.
Yes, somebody else, not me.
Oh.
It was Patricia, and it was annoying back then, too.
Right. Sorry. I should have figured that out. Sorry. So, do we put this letter in with all the other ones?
I don't think so. I'm just not the romantic you seem to think I am. I say leave it out.
Yes, but after reading so many other letters out loud...
All of which I had to listen to.
It's just... There are more of these letters, right?
Yeah, tons.
Can I read them? Maybe when we have more, it'll be a more complete view of their relationships, and I can figure out if they were in love.
You said it was a love letter.
Sure, it was a love letter, but were they in love?
They were trying to kill each other.
But they didn't.
But they tried.
Or that they always know the other spy master would come out on top with their antidote. Is this like the love letter with the piss?
Listen, we've decided that bureaucratically it is a love letter. Let's leave it at that.
I mean, it's not romantic by any means, but still, all those meals, so many shared interests, big cold castle with nothing but mannequins to hold you tight.
Oh no, Jonas, are you getting addicted to love letters?
It's not an addiction, I just think they're nice.
No more love letters. Give me the folder.
No.
Jonas.
No!
Jonas, you can't get hopped up on love letters and then go to a chemical mixer. You'll end up in the infirmary, or worse, in anti-marriage.
If you're never going to be alone, I have to double how many people I fall in love with!
Jonas, get back here! Do not take the folder out of this room!
Ink is written, produced, and edited by Monte D, Monteleagre and Alexander Wolfe.
Hi, my name is Allyson Levine, and I voice the character of Bethany.
Hello, my name is Raimy O. Washington, and I voice the character of Jonas.
Hi, I'm Guthrie Knueven, and this episode I played Love Letter 1.
Hi, my name is Joe Hanson, and in this episode I played
Love Letter 8.
Hello, I'm Katie Ploetz, and this episode I played
Love letter number 25.
Hello, my name's Ellis MacMillan,
And I was Robo-Archivist.
And I'm Leah Cardenas. I read the ship announcements as well as the credits. Find us online at inkthepodcast.buzzsprout.com for links to all our social media, or connect with us directly at Ink the Podcast. That's at INC the Podcast. All lowercase, all one word, all the time. As a fledgling show attempting to lift off, we're not above asking you for a little help in spreading the word. Ratings and reviews on whatever platform you consume content on helps feed the algorithmic beasts that control all our lives from behind the shadows. And if you're far too unplugged from the system for that, word of mouth has always been a wonderfully organic way to build a community. And we'd be delighted to be the latest podcast you tell people to listen to, knowing full well that most of them never will. One must imagine Sisyphus happy after all. Ink is a production of Wolf Mountain Workshop. Happiness is productivity. Productivity is happiness.